Hey guys, Haz here bringing you another video. Now welcome back to another episode of Challenger Spectate. Today we are watching a Challenger game. Probably a lot of you will recognize this player. This is No Way. I think he's had partial, success as a pro player, but he's now, I think, beginning to turn into much of a bigger streamer than a pro player. If you don't know who he is, there's a link with me and him, I guess, if you just like what I do. Twitch Rivals, the tournament that obviously I play in every now and then. I laned against No Way twice in a Twitch Rivals a few months ago, and I played against his Gangplank in mid. I played Diana, and there was nothing I could do. So I'm with, if you watched my Season 10 champion pool video that I'm like, what are we going to play at the beginning of the season? Gangplank is back in my champion pool, and Gangplank mid is even a potential for me, but I've just never fully got the pick. Like, what are you supposed to do? When do you go in? So we're going to watch No Way, because he is arguably the best Gangplank mid I know. And I will say, I didn't go on, like, Liga graphs like I normally do and look for the best statistic Gangplank mid, because the link with this guy that I've played with him in Twitch Rivals and stuff, and I've played against his Gangplank. For me, I was like, let's watch this guy. Worth noting in that Twitch Rivals that, the Gangplank game I lost quite badly to him in lane as Diana, but my second game, I actually beat him in lane. Meanwhile, level 2 gank coming in, and this is one of the disadvantages I foresee with Gangplank, by the way, in mid lane. I feel that you're just going to get prioritized quite a lot. Now, this could be, one, because the Jarvan thinks that level 2 gank would work, and that's where he's going to prioritize ganking mid. Or it could be the simple case that a lot of people know No Way is an amazing player. Oh, I want to try and kill him. Or the Jarvan just ganks mid at level 2 normally. Worth noting, if everybody may have not of, what did Gangplank take at level 1? Yeah, he took his E level 1, which actually, to me, makes a lot of sense. The one thing that I've played Gangplank mid a handful of times just to test it out. Like I said, I've never got why it's a thing. Yeah, level 1, you always get pushed in. And then the enemy mid laner usually has the momentum. And when you're a melee champion and you lose the momentum of mid lane, it's really hard to make a comeback. So he took E level 1, and then you can use the barrel to AoE wave clear so he doesn't get pushed in. That's really smart, and that's something that I've never even thought about, ever. So instantly, that is something that I now can do when I want to play Gangplank mid, or if I want to give it another go. So that's kind of cool. We've learned something already. Obviously, starting items of Gangplank is, in mid lane at least, is running Sapphire. It's something that you don't really do in top lane anymore, because top lane is way more snowbally. Top lane is the most snowbally lane in the game. And if you're running Sapphire and you get killed early because you're really squishy, you're just giving the lane to your opponent. So the vast majority of Gangplanks will not run a Sapphire Crystal level 1. They'll go like Corrupting Potion, or even if you watched my recent Gangplank episode, albeit that was a pretty frustrating game to play. Meanwhile, Syndra going aggressive, both on the Mundo. Gangplank trying to do his best to help, but that will be that. There was even a Nico support that made her way there, eventually would have helped too. So, unfortunate first blood. No Way positioning, questionable, because that does give Jarvan taking a lot of damage. It does give Jarvan the way to engage on him, but that will be that, and we'll go back. But, yeah, generally, I'd say Sapphire build is only a mid lane thing, not a top lane thing. And I would say it's potentially even matchup specific. Like, obviously, this is our first game of Gangplank we're watching, so I'm not sure if it's the case every game. But if I was against a hyper-aggressive early game champion in mid as Gangplank, yeah, I'm not running Sapphire Crystal level 1. Because it's the same principle as top lane. You don't want to give your lane opponent the lead. But obviously, let's face it, Gangplank as a champion is a very good late game, mid to late game champion. He struggles with lane phase. That's why a lot of the time, he has fallen to the side, because there are champions that can do a similar job to him but have better lane phases. That's kind of the why. But in mid lane, like, arguably, if it's a mage like Syndra, who can't deal a lot of damage in the early game, meanwhile, it looked like Mundo just ran in to die there, and maybe Gangplank is better in mid than top. Like, I don't know. I still think he's good in top, but the amount of cheese picks in top lane nowadays is just making the lane really hard. I doubt, put it this way, I doubt you'll be able to blind pick Gangplank and get away with it, especially in high ratings. In mid lane, I'd say you can do that a lot more than top. For the basic principle, nice double kill, if like Syndra as a mage, or a mage in general, let's say, their job is scaling into mid-late game like a Gangplank. A Syndra can't bully a Gangplank in lane, especially that he's got Grasp of the Undying and Resolve. So it's kind of giving Gangplank a free farming lane, especially compared to a lot of likes of top laners who, like, a Darius can kill a Gangplank early, or an Ekton can kill him early, a Fiora can, and then you combine that with all, like, the cheese pick potential, like the Lucians and stuff like that. Mid actually might be the place for Gangplank to go. So you know, if you're blind picking at least. No Way fails a ward there. That was supposed to go the other side of the wall for Jarvan EQs, but he missed it. It does happen to everybody. Even one of arguably Europe's best solo queue players. Syndra cancels the barrel. That's a deny. And there's an aggressive play here. So again, maybe the Syndra was thinking just going to do pressure, or you always got to have in the back of your mind, Syndra's been relatively passive for the last few minutes. Why is she randomly going aggressive? Either she's seen an opportunity to get a kill, or Jarvan's in the area. It's one of the two, right? Worth noting that on Gangplank's team this game, it is also Senna AD carry. Obviously a very high risk pick that is usually either very good or really bad. There's not really an in-between with Senna AD carry. That's just the way of the pick. Because obviously the champion in itself is more designed for support. It can AD carry, obviously, but it is designed for support. So you have to try and maximize your lane phase as much as you can, I've always found with Senna's. Even when she's support, I've always found that too. Not just AD carry. If she's support or thingy, you need to do well in lane. Alright, so the enemy team on the back foot. Thresh Hook misses. The play's going to disperse and Gangplank will return to mid. His lane opponent is also starting to run out of mana, which will just increase Gangplank's confidence level. You know, if his lane opponent literally can't really do a full combo on him, he's just going to chill. Like, Gangplank will be very happy to not base, as well as stopping the Syndra base. Like, if they're both low mana, Gangplank's a happy boy, because he just wants to scale. He just wants to free farm, scale, and all that. Meanwhile, Jarvan kills the Mundo. Mundo actually having a very rough game. And again, this is G2 Jerks. I know that's like a play on G2 Perks, potentially. I'm not sure if this is actually a pro. I'm sure the comment section can let us know. But yeah, very rough game on Mundo. But it's just the jungle difference at the moment. Worth also noting that Mundo has got Omni Stone. That's potentially leading, or, you know, adding to the fact why Mundo is so weak. You can't rely on Omni Stone, you know, really, ever. Because you don't exactly know what rune you're going to have and plan ahead and all that. So, yeah. I wouldn't do that. And, you know, it's probably just experimentation going on here, because solo queue, especially if it is a pro, you have to remember solo queue for pros is never serious. Solo queue for pros is practice. It's mechanical practice. It's experimental practice. It's not serious. Serious is actual pro games and scrims. Solo queue is like the meme, I'm just going to train my mechanics a bit. I'm going to try out this new build and see how it goes. That's it. Is he getting blue? No way. Wow. I'm really surprised that Mundo is okay with that. For a couple of reasons. One, Mundo's only level 5. So XP, blue would have been good for that. But secondly, like, I don't know, man. Like, yes, Gangplank blue is good on Gangplank technically. But I am shocked that... See, I think that is not normal even for a Gangplank mid to be given blue. I think, again, when you're looking at known people and then known champion, like one of No Way's most known champions is Gangplank mid. Maybe there's some special treatment going on, you know. Oh, No Way's on Gangplank mid? Okay, I'll give him blue. If that was anybody else, I am not convinced that they're getting... That was a... Wait, he didn't even press W. I don't know what happened then. I'm convinced if that wasn't No Way, that blue buff would not be Gangplank mids, if I'm honest. Meanwhile, top lane, Ryze dies. They're actually going to do a bunch of tower plate damage. Little trade going on. Dodging as many Qs as he can, and he will get rid of the control ward. Meanwhile, in bot lane, it went well for red team, and they are also getting a couple tower plates here or there. But yeah, so far, watching the Gangplank especially, I've learned, obviously, take E level 1 to not let the lane opponent get full momentum, which makes sense. But apart from that, this is Gangplank mid. It's low-risk gameplay that is all about scaling. And what we're probably going to see, if I had to guess... Again, I'm watching this at the same time as you guys. Level 11 is usually a staple power spike for Gangplank. It's around normally the time you get your first ultimate upgrade. Level 11 obviously as well. You're getting level 2 ultimate. There's a big fight happening, by the way. Gangplank flashes over the wall. Syndra, that was a flash. Yes, that was a flash by Syndra, and that will also get her the kill. But then you're also, which I don't think is worth, giving Gangplank a double kill. Again, yes, Syndra is a scaling champion, but Gangplank is a really big scaling champion. You know, he's a crit champion for the most part, and crit champions want the late game when they have, like, especially for Gangplank, Triforce, Infinity Edge, Essence Reaver, if that's the build he's going. I would not have given, even for getting, like, Syndra got a kill there, I still don't think that's worth, because then you're leaving Gangplank alive. He then also just got a tower plate. Like, that is not worth to me at all. Like, if we look in mid lane, like, there's a 10 farm difference. What is the gold lead going to be for Gangplank? Like, this isn't that far apart in farm. Gangplank is 1,200 gold ahead. Yeah. So that is the combination of a tower plate extra, that's a combination of a kill extra, and that's Gangplank farming. Obviously, he gets increased gold. This game so far, he has gained 324 extra gold by last hitting with his Q. That's why I don't think it's a good idea to give Gangplank these free kills. Like, I've said to you guys, one of the basic things if you want to start climbing in League is don't die. Like, stop dying. It's the #1 thing. Like, whenever I look at people's profiles who are low rating, who have maybe been there a while, one of the biggest things that always stands out to me is high deaths. Always. So just focus on dying less. You're actually seeing Syndra now asking for help. There's nothing Syndra can do in this matchup anymore. In a 1v1, nothing. Triforce is complete. Mercury Treads is complete. It's impossible for Syndra to kill, no way. And really, it's impossible for a Syndra to stop him farming, and that's obviously the worst situation you're going to be. Gangplank, hyperscaling, good crit, carry late game, you can't stop him anymore. So, blue team will take the dragon, which gives them nice, and you know, the blue team is technically ahead right now, worth pointing out. Ryze is losing top. Mundo's obviously 1-5 versus a 5-1 Jarvan, and bot lane's roughly even with No Way being as much ahead of gold he is. He's actually now over, 1,200 gold ahead now. Even with a 1,200 gold lead in mid, they are still behind 1,600 gold. Like, No Way's team is still behind 1,600 gold, even though No Way himself is ahead by 1,200. That just shows how weak right now the red team is, doing, and how bad they're doing in a way. So we'll have to see how much can No Way potentially carry moving into mid-late game. And, worth noting, the red team's team comp, it's a good scaling comp. Ryze obviously scales incredibly well, arguably scales better than a Kennen. Mundo scales really well as one of the best tanks in the game. That was questionable. I don't even think... Yeah, that was a bit weird. I think he thought with his passive, because remember Gangplank passive, the burn, it does actually apply on towers. I think he thought the burn would have been enough to get the tower plate. It wasn't. Gank coming in. Nice barrel. He's ulting on top of himself, and that's about that. So he's got a 2-level advantage right now, the Jarvan. He's going to try and run away. Jarvan might still think this player is potentially on. Hiding the barrel in the bush, good idea, so they can't get rid of it, and that will be the fight over. Syndra over to the right-hand side. She actually should be a bit careful, because if Mundo managed to land that slow, you never know. And they will manage to disperse. So that does show, even though this is a technically 2-0 Gangplank, Gangplank was definitely going to win that 1v1 versus the 5-1 Jarvan. And that's the simple case of Gangplank's strength is through farm a lot of the time. And that's for top lane and mid lane Gangplank. So for me, this is just kind of, what is this episode doing for me? I'm kind of noticing some things. There was no real early aggression from the Gangplank because he was like, there's no point. Just survive, play smart, and farm. And, his farm right now is the highest farm in the game. Gold lead is doing really well, and his lane opponent is not even doing bad. Let's be honest, it's not bad at all. Right, he is now getting ganked. He will most likely die here. Can he survive? Actually, maybe a survival is on. He's turning. Ooh. Senna, that is his... okay. See, it was a good idea. Like, he definitely could have killed that Nico, but she had stopwatch. That, to me, is a literal just example of someone didn't pay attention that the enemy had, well, actually had Zhonya's or whatever. It happens to everybody. It just happens. When you're in the moment, even in Challenger, you're in the moment. Oh, my dude, the support's chasing me. I can kill that. And she's got stopwatch. So yeah, unfortunate. Does get himself killed, first death of the game, but what can you do? So Warhammer has been picked up for that cooldown reduction. Obviously, very good synergy with Gangplank. That's what you should prioritize. And also a crit cloak. Okay, so that is Stormrazor question mark? I think. Again, I've always found it funny, man. It's hard to remember what the builds are when you're not in the game. When you're doing these commentaries, it's like, is that what it is? I think that's Stormrazor, right? Because it's BF Sword, Warhammer Crit Cloak is Stormrazor. Stormrazor's got pretty good synergy with Gangplank. So does Essence Reaver. And then I think generally you're buying one of the two. You're either buying Essence Reaver or you're buying Storm. And then you buy Infinity Edge as your third item. That's if you're going carry Gangplank, by the way, which mid lane Gangplank, it can differ from top lane, by the way, because mid lane is arguably more of a carry role than top. So you do need to build more carry-like, because Gangplank in top lane, obviously, a lot of the time goes Triforce, and then will build like a Sterix second item just for survival. You can't really do that in mid lane because you're taking mid lane a carry position. If you're going Sterix, you don't have that carry potential. For some reason, we hear Nico ult, even though it happened in mid lane. Replay files, no idea. So there's 2 deaths on the blue team, oh sorry, red team there. Unfortunate. He is running through, and now he's found it. He is running through, a Vision Ward does turn back to go kill it, and now is coming to potentially aid his team. Worth noting that was a whole team play. That was 5 people mid lane to make that play happen. It does seem, well, again, for a couple of reasons, blue team does seem to have a bit more like get up and go, let's group, let's team fight, let's kill them, let's break their like mid lane and stuff. One, because I guess they're already ahead, so they're like, let's confirm our lead, continue our lead. But it also could be the simple case of they know they potentially get outscaled, so we have to win early, right? When the enemy team literally has a Rise Mundo Gangplank, that's scary in late game. I wouldn't want to fight that late game, so let's group, let's ace them, or not ace them, but let's beat them, and then let's take mid, and then let's probably try get dragon priority. That's the mentality right now of blue team, which it's good. That's what they need to do. Right, so Kennen was returning to top lane. Dragon, as you can see, is probably already being done, if I had to guess. Don't think Mundo has the strength to just randomly walk in there, if I'm honest. Unfortunate Thresh Lantern, because that kind of stops the Mundo potentially going for a steal. Mundo runs in with his ultimate, steals it, hopefully, and then Thresh Lantern's out. But they lanterned a bit early. You'll notice the playstyle of Gangplank, and you can even see Syndra's pinging and stuff. He's just free farming. Like, we need it. Like, it's kind of like that. To me, Gangplank, it sounds weird because he doesn't technically have infinity scaling. A Gangplank is a better version of Nasus by quite a bit. Meanwhile, the enemy team is getting caught out by being outnumbered. Good thresh hook. Kennen's coming in with his ultimate. Gangplank is making his way. Will be here. Gangplank ultimate over the top. This actually could go really well if the enemy team do not notice. Can a barrel hit? No, it cannot, and that will probably be that. Again, no Rise, no Gangplank technically. That's why they're losing these fights. It's just the blue team is a lot more proactive about grouping than red team is, which is good. So Rise now potentially getting caught. Really good push away. That will get the Rise dead, and now that is 4 dead red team members. You can see No Way is thinking about this. Gangplank's over here. Gangplank does a bit of wolf damage. He doesn't steal the wolf. Jarvan smites it, and that will be that. But like I was saying, I kind of feel Gangplank's a better Nasus. Even though Gangplank doesn't have infinity scaling, by the time that you actually want to group as a Nasus, let's say it's 30, 35 minutes into the game, Gangplank is stupidly strong at that point. Oh wait, it was Essence Reaver. I'm an idiot, apparently. So he actually still red buff, by the way. Yeah, so by the time like a Nasus was group, Gangplank is at that stage that he wants to group as well, and Gangplank is just kind of better. He's better in lane, arguably, than a Nasus. He's better at team fighting than a Nasus. He can free farm like a Nasus. When he is split pushing, he's got a global ultimate. Nasus don't have that. So, yeah, like, I don't know, my kind of catchphrase of Gangplank could be, like, he's harder, obviously, to play than Nasus. Nasus isn't hard to play in any regard. But, yeah, maybe Gangplank is just a better version. And, you've noticed in this game, even though it's Gangplank mid, he is side laning a lot. Because that's just how you have to play Gangplank, especially at high rating. Million damage coming through. For some reason, Thresh takes the double kill. That wasn't needed by Thresh. He didn't need to take either of those. So that's a bit weird to see, in this rating at least. But yeah, like, honestly, we're getting into the stage. You can see the gold at the top. Red team is starting to catch up. Syndra can do, like I said earlier, there is nothing this Syndra can do to a Gangplank. He's too tanky. Like, too tanky, does a lot of damage, and she can't stop him. So this is actually making me think a lot about playing Gangplank mid more. Because, yeah, like, his damage is high. He can free farm. He's got, you guys know one of my big weaknesses is my farm, because I'm, like, permanently grouped. Even as a mid laner, even as a top laner, I'm like, dude, I got a group. I don't trust my team. I still wouldn't, per se, trust my team when split pushing as Gangplank, but at least you have your ultimate that can help. If you're playing Darius, for example, and you're split pushing, you can't help. And a lot of the time, Darius is even taking Ghost, not Teleport. So, I don't know. This has actually put me really in the mood. Wow, he didn't have vision. This is putting me really in the mood to play a lot of Gangplank. I'm recording this, obviously, and I will mention, before Season 10 is actually out. I'm recording this on Thursday, I think. Is it Thursday? So, tomorrow will be my technical first day of recording. You'll be watching this after, like... You'll be maybe watching this over the weekend. Maybe I've already played a Gangplank game by now. I don't know. Possibly. It's very possible. So again, blue buff goes over to No Way. Item build update. Infinity Edge is definitely being built now. So he is waiting in the bush. So he cues the cannon, then auto-attacks the barrel and... Cannon? Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Like, what the hell? Gangplank ult, going for that engage. Nico did a good job stopping the Gangplank. Oh, that didn't kill her. Nico's probably dead. Gangplank maybe buying off a bit. No, Gangplank gets another kill. The Ashe doing a lot of damage. Looks like she's in TFT Ashe mode. Senna gets the kill on Ashe. Gangplank survives, by the way. Mundo chasing down the Syndra, who, again, this game, it hasn't even had a bad game. It just looks like this Syndra's weak. And I think Syndra isn't a weak champion, but I've always found Syndra is very kind of meh if she doesn't get fed. You know, she is, let's face it, a hyper burst kind of one combo champion, really. Obviously, she has a bit of poke in lane and stuff like that, but fundamentally, she is like, I've got to try and one-shot people with my combo, and if she's not fed, she can't do that, and then she starts really struggling. I've always found anyway. Jarvan was thinking about going for a steal, but the enemy team did a good job stopping him. Ryze going aggressive. Wow, really good flash by the Kennen, who managed to survive for now. And red team, they don't necessarily have to back right now because they've got momentum, but it's probably a good idea to do it depending on their gold. So Gangplank as a 2,000 gold, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Everybody's got over 1,000 gold, but that is a power spike. So the reason why Gangplank went back and everybody else didn't, that was Infinity Edge base for Gangplank. Huge power spike. Massive power spike. He is going aggressive. You can see the damage is coming through. Doesn't get the kill in the end because of Jarvan W. Here, Nico. That must be a replay bug right now. Gangplank going aggressive. He actually kills the Jarvan with his ultimate in the end. Syndra on the back foot. Will she get away? Does she have flash? Does have flash. Is she going to get away? There's the ultimate. Doesn't kill the Gangplank. She flashes left for some reason. Ashe dies in the back over there. Don't really know what's going on. Red team get the dragon. And yeah, so there was kind of two fights happening there. No Way versus like two people, and then the rest of the enemy team. So yeah, good to see. Oh my god, really clean Gangplank. So Gangplank, again, part of the hardship of the champion is the barrel combos. So there are a few. There's a 1-barrel combo, 2-barrel combo, 3-barrel combo. So a 1-barrel combo is literally you're putting it down and queuing at perfect timing for it to blow up and the enemy team can't cancel it and you've got perfect range. Very hard to do. Second one is the 2-barrel combo. Again, extremely hard to do, that you're putting 2 barrels down and before you place the second barrel, you're already queuing the first one, so the chain reaction is already happening before you place the second barrel. Very hard to do. And then the 3rd-barrel combo is arguably easier than the other two. So the 3-barrel combo is that you've already got 1 barrel placed, you place another, you attack the first barrel, then you place the 3rd one. It's basically a slowed down 2-barrel combo. But yeah, you're watching No Way cleanly do these combos. I haven't really mentioned them because they're just happening, but yeah, if you kind of watch his barrels, he's mainly perfectly putting down barrels down and using the ability perfectly at the same time for the most part. And again, remember, in principle, if you go in a training mode, not that hard to do. He's pulling it off in a challenger game. He uses ultimate and you can see the Ashe Ash did her best to stop the barrels, but then that slowed her down enough to just get cued in the face by Gangplank. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, his item build is relatively normal. This is what you're going to call that thresh hook, really. This is what you call end game, win the game Gangplank. This is 100% crit, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just double check. Yep, he's got 100% crit right now. So this is like literally like, he wouldn't keep these 2 crit cloaks for long. But this is, right, I've got a massive power spike. Let's win the game right now. It's a really good idea to do. You don't see it often. You don't see it put into practice often. But the one game that we chose to watch Gangplank mid, he did it. That's another lesson for you guys. So if you are like, we can win the game now, yeah, buy an extra crit cloak or 2, get that 100% crit before anything else, and you can just win the game. But yeah, really cool to watch. That has put me in the mood, definitely, to play Gangplank. You know, I'll give Gangplank mid a go, but even obviously Gangplank top if I'm not blind pick. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy... Oh, worth noting his rune page, by the way. Grasp the Undying, Demolish, Bone Plating, Overgrowth for heal... well, really? Overgrowth? Huh. That surprises me, if I'm honest. I guess it's just to make him tanky. And then he goes Inspiration, Biscuit Delivery, Cooldown Reduction, and then Attack Damage, which is adaptive damage, and then obviously Magic Resist, but that one will change depending what you're against. But there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned a lot. Very cool to watch. If you guys did enjoy, though, throw a like on it. Hopefully Season 10 by the time you're watching this video. Hopefully your placements have gone okay so far. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment down below, and see you guys next time. Peace.